You're listening to FabulosiTEA, in which we discuss what you bring to the tea party, essentials for the modern heroine.
I'm Caroline from Sparkles and Crumbs.
And I'm Xandra from Fashionably Light.
So, Xandra, what's your FabulosiTEA for today?
Well, mine is very exciting, actually. So, I took an online test of which film actress would play you in the film version of your life, and I got Natalie Portman.
You must be so happy.
That made my week. She's my favorite.
I can see that, actually.
Well, I sort of knew that I liked her, but she embodies that perfect balance of elegance and goofiness, and just hit me one day and I was like, she is awesome.
Oh, I'm not surprised that made your week. That is good news. We were talking, I always talk about who would play you in the movie of your life, and people always say Goldie Hawn for me, like when she's young and kind of wacky.
I can't say I've seen her in anything.
Oh, like she was in like those kind of wacky 80s rom-coms, like Overboard. She's Kate Hudson's mum.
Oh, okay.
She's very funny.
Cool. And do you agree? Is that who you would be?
Yeah, I quite love her. I'm happy with that. Almost as happy as you of Natalie Portman. She's so refined.
She is so refined, and she's moving to Paris.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so relevant.
Yeah, her husband is in the ballet there.
I did not know that. Oh, her life's so good.
They met in Black Swan.
No.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Oh.
Yeah. Well, before we go into Natalie Portman's life story, what's your fabulous?
Sorry, I'm so intrigued. Well, my fabulous today is very relevant to that. In fact, I just booked a trip to Paris. And we're having a girly pre-Valentine's Day weekend trip. We've got a little apartment in Montmartre. We're going to go climb Eiffel Tower and get Ladurée macaroons, and I'm so excited. You have to have holidays to look forward to. That's what I say. Well, I just, I like travelling. Lots of mini adventures. It's good to fit.
Well travelled.
Exactly. Well, hopefully. We try to be. Well, I guess kind of Paris is vaguely relevant to our topic for today, which is in which we discuss the little black dress.
This is a perfect topic for the both of us, because it's both classy glamour Hollywood and quite a minimalist thing as well.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It kind of combines both. And like one of my favourite quotes about it is Karl Lagerfeld. Karl Lagerfeld? I never know how he likes it pronounced.
I was Lagerfeld.
Lagerfeld.
How he likes it pronounced. I'm sure he's quite particular.
Him and his cat. What's the cat called?
He has a cat?
He has a cat that has its own Instagram. I'm sure of this.
What?
It's called... Oh, it's a mad cat. He loves it. Choupette. It's called Choupette, and it has its own Twitter. It has its own Twitter. And it's like flown by private jet all the way to New York just for one party. It's like the most spoiled cat in the world.
Okay, wow. I've already learned something new on FabulosiTEA.
Sorry, off topic. His main quote.
FabulosiTEA, bringing you everything Natalie Portman and Karl Lagerfeld's.
Oh, I do kind of want to be Karl Lagerfeld's cat. It sounds like he has an amazing life. But yeah, anyway, Karl Lagerfeld, not his cat, said one is never overdressed or underdressed in a little black dress.
Ooh.
Which is why it's such a FabulosiTEA essential. It's kind of it.
Yes, that's mostly true.
Do you think? Do you think you're sometimes overdressed in a black dress?
Well, I'm thinking the first thing that came to mind is Breakfast at Tiffany's. If you wear that little black dress, like to coffee.
That was quite something.
That was quite something. So, Caroline, you did some research.
I did,
on
yes.
the little black dress.
So what's interesting is Coco Chanel is often credited with inventing the little black dress. It's kind of seen as really taking off in 1926 when Vogue published a picture of one of her designs and compared it to the Ford car, saying it's the frock that all the world will wear. And of course, before Chanel, it was mainly associated with mourning rather than being chic and fabulous. And
that's so true.
Kind of morbidly, she first began wearing black when her lover, Boy Capel, died in an accident in 1919. And the first little black dresses she designed were inspired by the black mourning clothes worn by peasant women in the French villages where she grew up. So it's quite, it's not a very
dark.
Yeah, it's not a very fabulous start.
No. Caroline, have you seen Pretty Little Liars?
Yes.
Yes. I was just thinking of the funeral scene at I think it's Allie's funeral, where they're all wearing these really fabulous black dresses.
They're slightly revealing for funerals, I always felt watching it. I was like, oh.
Well, in general, they're slightly revealing for their normal occasions, but Yeah, they each had their own unique style. We'll have to link to a picture of the Pretty Little Liars funeral attire.
I tell you, Pretty Little Liars started again last night, and it was, I think, it was showing at 1 a.m. UK time, and my friend and I literally set an alarm for 2 o'clock, got up, and got into bed in our pajamas with like popcorn, and had a little mini sleepover, and watched it at 2 in the morning.
Oh my gosh, I'm so behind on that show.
Oh, it's so suspense-filled. It's brilliant.
Which girl's wardrobe would you steal?
Oh, it's quite hard. I think Spencer's. Spencer's kind of preppy and fabulous. How about you?
She is preppy and fabulous. Aria, but Spencer is a close second.
It's true. I think Aria sometimes wears crazy things, though. She sometimes wears crazy.
Yeah. Well, she's the one who would wear the tulle fluffy skirts to the formal events, so naturally I would choose her.
Oh, yeah, that's true. She does dress up well.
Yes. We're off topic again, however.
Well, we're on little black dresses. That's fine.
Yes.
But yeah,
yes,
so
sometimes
Chanel
they wear black dresses, like in mourning.
Yes. So Chanel's often credited with kind of inventing it, but actually there were much earlier incarnations. I think as early as 1902, Henry James mentioned a little black frock in his novel The Wings of the Dove. And one of my favourite books, The Age of Innocence, which was I think published in 1920 in installments, the Countess Lenska shocks everyone by wearing black satin, and it's all very scandalous. And some British designers were also designing them around the same time, but Chanel was really the one who made it fashionable. Mm-hmm. And she was the one who kind of got everyone wearing it and kind of sold it to everyone as a staple that everyone needed. Right. So this is interesting. So I was telling my friends that this is the episode we're talking about today, and they're both quite pale. And they both said they don't own a little black dress, and they don't think they ever will because they say it doesn't suit them. They prefer bright colours. They think black washes them out. What do you think about that?
I would have never thought of that. Well, I don't have a pale complexion and always admired people who did because I'd never have it. But I don't think that would be an issue. Go for it, girls.
Exactly. I think, and also the thing with them is you can dress them up with accessories, so you can have like a bright red lipstick. Mm-hmm. Or, a little neon blazer with it or something like that. I think, but I can see, I think it can be, it has to be a dramatic black. Otherwise it can wash you out if you're just, I don't know. I think it depends on the style.
Well, it has to make a statement. It depends on how you wear it, both in terms of what you wear it with and how you carry yourself.
And also the fit. There are a lot of different little black dresses out there.
Right, and that's the beauty of it. There's something for everybody.
So we were talking about Audrey Hepburn's dress in Breakfast at Tiffany's, and how, to be fair, it was, so Givenchy, who designed it, used to cut the necklines of Audrey Hepburn's dresses very, very high because she hated her collarbones. She thought they were too bony, apparently.
Oh, Audrey.
So, I know, she's so silly. She was perfect. But he cut them very, very high, and then obviously cut them quite close into the shoulders to show off her gorgeous slim arms. So that dress would not look good on everyone. I think it's very much a slim Audrey Hepburn dress, but so it was kind of that black Italian satin sheath and that kind of iconic scene when she wears it with a piled up hairdo and the big sunglasses and and I think Love Film did a survey in 2010 and it was chosen as the best dress ever worn in a film. So,
well, it has to be.
Oh, I don't know.
What are your favorites?
Oh God, I'm put on the spot now.
Yes, you're put on the spot. Well, it's most iconic, I think.
It is.
Best is subjective. Well, most iconic is subjective as well, but
it's that scene where she,
it's memorable,
and she's eating breakfast in it outside of Tiffany's, and it's just
right.
It's just gorgeous, and it still looks modern now.
Right. Well, I think most little black dresses are timeless.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of them.
Oh, no, I was saying that's the thing, Audrey Hepburn's dress is very, very similar to the one Chanel designed back in the 20s. It's like a sheath dress, so...
Right. Yeah, timeless and beautiful. You mentioned The Age of Innocence, and I was just watching, literally an hour ago, the Gossip Girl episode where they're doing the play of The Age of Innocence.
It's so ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. And Blair's playing the Countess, and she has this gorgeous lace dress with an open back, and it's the black dress you're talking about. But it still makes a statement. You can update it slightly, and it still makes the same impact.
It does. I love those. I love the episodes where Blair has dreams about Bin in kind of.
And when she's in the
movies, she's in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Breakfast at Tiffany's in her dreams. More cats.
More
Cats are pervading this episode.
Yeah, so many of them. Where have they come from?
I think she has to be my style icon, Blair Waldorf.
So she's your little black dress icon. Well, icon and everything, but she wears
icon everything. Well, I don't know if I would call her black dress little. And that one, it's quite extravagant. Do you have any thoughts on what makes a little black dress little rather than just a plain black dress?
Well, this is the thing.
Because it's quite an endearing term.
I know. I think it's like shorthand, isn't it, for a black dress that looks good with everything. And I'd say that I'd say probably like floor length gown is not a little black dress, but I'd say cocktail dress length, so knee length.
Mm-hmm. I guess the Breakfast Tiffany's one counts because it has a big slit.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, you wouldn't wear it to a ball, but you could wear it you could wear it into the office and then go out for a drink after work, and you wouldn't have to change at any point during that. Go to
it's transformable.
Yeah, and you can go to most social occasions in it, and you won't look particularly out of place. Which is why there's a wonderful quote by I think it was Donna Karan. Let me have a look. No, it was Stella McCartney, and she said that they're comforting. She says they're reliable, and that's what's nice. You'll know you'll always look good in them. Which I think is true. And, yeah, and you can kind of be a bit more imaginative than. It's so Stella McCartney says the little black dress is something to rely on to fill you with confidence and ease. And I think, maybe black isn't your colour, but the idea of having one dress in your wardrobe that will always be appropriate and you'll always look good in is a really nice idea.
Yeah, I agree. I used to have, I've written about having little dresses of other colours that function as little black dresses as part of my colourful minimalist wardrobe. So I used to have a little white dress that I wore everywhere. It was sort of a slip-on, very comfortable thing. And then it got old and people were trying to get a new dress.
It's like a little summery dress. I love it. The little white. Yeah. Well, it's the LWLD now, isn't it? The little white lace dress.
Did you just make that up, or is that a thing? That's a thing?
No, I think it's a thing. I remember reading it somewhere. I'll be really happy if I made it up.
It's just there's something about the simplicity of the LBD. It's not the
LB. Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't like LWLD. I'm sad if I made that up. Well, so my little black dress, which I still count as a black dress, is inherited from my mum. And she handed it down. It's a vintage Valentino dress she found. And it's very it's a real wiggle dress. It's very soft black, kind of clingy fabric. And it's just below the knee. And the entire chest is covered in black lace with little cap sleeves with black lace on.
That's gorgeous.
It's one of those dresses you put on and you instantly feel more sophisticated and more fabulous. And so it's not a little dress, but it definitely kind of ticks the boxes of then you can wear it most places, I guess.
I think the little also works in the same way that you say like, oh, this old thing. You don't quite mean it, but it just sort of makes it familiar and flouncy a bit. Yeah. Like, oh, this little dress.
So your favourite little black dress is Blair's In the Age of Innocence episode, would you say?
No, I just happened to watch that now,
right.
So that's why it's
in your mind.
My favourite little black dress is in Kiki's Delivery Service by Hayao Miyazaki. It's an animated film, my favourite film, about a teen witch who has come of age, so she has to fly off and start her own life somewhere. And she wears a witch's uniform, which is this basically a little black dress. Actually, on film, it looks kind of purple. She's supporting herself for the first time, and she's living on a budget, and so she's sort of window shopping and looking at these beautiful dresses and clothes that she can't afford, but the other cool kids can, and she feels kind of jealous. And then she gets asked out to a party, and she's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to wear. And I wrote down a quote, Caroline style.
Yay!
So Kiki says, but I only have this one dress. And Osono says, so are you worried about that? It's a very nice dress because black shows off a girl's beauty.
Oh, that's nice.
She's saying, just wear what you have because you look beautiful in it. And then it turns out she's fine and people think she looks pretty.
That's a nice message. See, well, this is fashionably light, something simple.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I do need to watch this movie. You keep mentioning it.
Me
And I still
too.
haven't seen it. I need to watch it.
It's so heartwarming.
It sounds really happy. So that's your favourite LBD. Mine is not fictional. It's in history. It's Princess Diana's revenge dress. Which-
Tell us the story.
It's amazing. So it was a very short, very kind of sexy, off the shoulder little black dress, made by a designer called Christina Stambolian. I think that's how you pronounce it. And she actually made it for Diana years before she eventually wore it. And at the time, Diana thought it was a bit too racy. And as a princess, she shouldn't really wear that. But in 1994, she was invited to a Vanity Fair party on the very evening that Prince Charles appeared on live TV admitting to adultery with Camilla. Ooh. And InStyle's fashion director's written about it. I think it's Hal Rubinstein. And he said, but after her separation from Prince Charles and after the fairy tale crashed, well, out came the dress and the highest shoes she could find. And who wound up on the front page of the newspapers the next day? It was Diana rocking out. I love that. Like, it was her armor.
Does it actually say Diana rocking out?
Yes! That was his quote, which I love. But it's true, you know, she completely drew the attention away from Charles being kind of awful. And, you know, kind of it made her, she was making herself incredibly visible. With what is usually seen as quite a boring outfit in some ways, or a very simple outfit. I mean, it was a very racy version of a little black dress. It really was a little black dress. We'll put a picture on the notes. The Pretty Little Liars picture. But I just love that idea.
Oh, that is fantastic. And people say that fashion isn't important.
It's not. It's very psychologically important.
It is. It's subtly so as well.
Mm-hmm. So you were going to speak as well about the uniform project? Speaking of fashion being important.
Yes, speaking of fashion being important. The little black dress has a lot to do with minimalism as well because, like you're saying, it's very convertible and you can dress it up, you can dress it down, it's reliable. That's the same principle that goes behind minimalist fashion. Mm-hmm. And this one particular example is called the Uniform Project. And this girl, Sheena, in May 2009, decided that she wanted to start some sort of project to raise awareness of sustainability and also start a charity project to send little kids to school that couldn't afford it. So she made up this, she's a fashion designer, and she designed this one dress that she could wear 365 days of the year. But the style challenge was to make it look different every day. So she used all vintage, handmade, donated accessories to change up this one look, and posted pictures every day on her website, and people would donate, and she ended up raising over $100,000 to send kids to school.
That's amazing.
Yeah, if you go to her site, she has a video that goes through all of the different outfits, and it's really incredible.
Oh, kind of like a time lapse of all the different...
Yeah. Yeah, and it shows all the different looks, like she dressed up in that dress for Halloween, and on her travels, and it's, a lot of the times, it's really unrecognizable.
Well, so she really did wear just a little black dress for an entire year for everything.
For an entire year. Yeah, and she said she had duplicates of the dress so for hygienic purposes, but the style worked her way through the whole year.
That is so impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that.
I think it would be really fun.
I don't know. I'm not as good as accessorizing. I like having really fabulous clothes rather than accessories. This is my weakness when it comes to fashion.
Well, a lot of them, it doesn't even look like accessories because she has sort of trousers underneath it or shirts that are sort of layered together. So it looks more like layering than accessorizing.
So she could wear kind of other clothes with it, kind of, so she could put it with leggings or something like that.
Right.
Sort of.
Yeah.
So if you could wear one dress for a year, if you had to wear one dress, what would it be?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot now. Well, I think it would have to be something like Sheena's dress, and she has a few different patterns on her website that you can buy the pattern or the actual dress, and they're sort of designed for convertibility. But I found my little black dress last year because it looks basically like the Kiki's Delivery Service one, where it's black and short sleeved and a big skirt. Yeah, and it was like, I need to get this. It's Kiki dress. Yeah, it's from
You can be like a real life Kiki.
I am a real life Kiki.
Sorry, where was it from?
French Connection.
Oh wow, they do pretty dresses.
They do.
Well, I guess kind of we could talk about fashion for a while. And we'll talk about cats some more probably if we're allowed to carry on. So, we should probably get to any other business, I guess.
We should.
Well, the first thing is we had a couple of comments from our listeners from the first episode last week about
Thank you, listeners.
which is nice, about cultivating your inner bibliophile. We heard from Pearl from the wonderful website Pretty Mayhem, who kind of said she agreed with us about paperbacks versus ebooks. She said, I know I should get a Kindle, but I miss the smell and feel of paperback books too much, which is kind of how I felt. And she also recommended The Fault in Our Stars by John Green as a book for our reading list, which is heartbreaking but beautiful. So that's been added.
Have you read it, Caroline? I
have not, so it's been added to my list too.
It's wonderful.
Have you read it?
I have. Yeah, John Green is one of my favorite authors, so I've read all of his books. And this one in particular is, well, it's about a girl who has cancer, but it's sort of equally devastating and humorous and relatable, which is refreshing. It's sort of like the film 50-50 with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, I still haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, that's quite good too.
Oh, and the other thing, kind of on the paperbacks versus ebooks debate, is it's unrelated to our podcast, but Amy, our Blog Academy friend who writes at Tenpenny Dreams, just did a really interesting post where she's been completely converted to the Kindle. Ooh. So she was originally on kind of our old-fashioned side of the fence, but has got really into it. So we'll put a link in our notes to both those websites so you can have a look at it. I just thought it was quite an interesting read from a fellow bibliophile who's been converted. So
yes, I always love her articles. Mm-hmm. So what is our next episode topic?
It's the dessert, isn't it?
It is the dessert. we haven't come
up with a title. It's in which we discuss your signature dessert.
So next week we're talking about our signature desserts as something that every girl or boy, if we have boy listeners as well, should have on his or her repertoire. So let's say you have to bring a dessert to a function or you're hosting or something. It would be good to have something up your sleeve already that's tried and practiced rather than something that you're sort of scrambling together at the last minute. So on that note, if you have any recipes or suggestions for favorite desserts, send them our way.
Definitely.
You can go to FabulosiTEA.com, and we're also on Twitter and Facebook, and of course you can reach us through our sites. And I'm at fashionablylight.com, and Caroline is at
sparklesandcrumbs.com. So we will see you next Friday at tea time.
Tea time every Friday.
Ciao.
Ciao.